What's good, peeps? Thanks as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. Don't forget as well, please, to like and share the video. And you can support the channel as well now. I do have a Patreon account. The link is in the description. Right, before we talk Dillian Whyte, a quick update with regards to my trip to Saudi Arabia. My visa's just come, which is very, very good news. Matrim have just sent me my visa, so we are all systems go now. And I can't wait to get out there next week. The only thing I'm deciding is what day I'm going. I don't know if I'm going Monday or Tuesday. I'm just waiting for Matrim to kind of send over an itinerary of what's going to happen. So press conference, where exactly? I know obviously no weigh-ins is Friday. I'm just thinking, is there anything happening on Tuesday, Wednesday? Is there a final press conference on Wednesday or Thursday? So those things will dictate whether I go on Monday or Tuesday. But again, I am very, very excited and I can't wait to get out there. All right, Dillian Whyte. I'm hearing, or I read anyway, that Dillian Whyte could be fighting Mariusz Wach on the undercard of AJ versus Ruiz. We still haven't heard anything official. By the time I'm posting this video, we might have heard something official. But I'm hearing that it will be Mariusz Wach. Mariusz Wach, former world title challenger way back when he was actually unbeaten. And then he fought Vladimir Klitschko and lost. I think he's lost 5 times in his career, 3 knockouts. I'm going off head here. But more recently, it started to be a bit of a downward spiral. I think out of his last 5 fights, he's lost 3. I think he's been stopped in a couple of those as well. He has won his last 2 fights, but it's been against nobodies with no one, with no record, sorry. His last loss was to Martin Bakole. Before that, he lost to Spilka. He's lost to... Who else has he lost to? He's lost to Povetkin. He's lost to Jarrell Miller. Yeah. So, look, not uber impressed, but it's difficult to critique this level of opponent for Dillian Whyte because we don't know what goes on behind the scenes in terms of trying to find an opponent. We have absolutely no idea. It's not that easy, right? Some people will want too much money. Some people will take the fight, but it means conditions being that maybe Matrim use them again for another couple of fight cards maybe. So we don't know. Maybe even the short notice has been a hindrance. I will say this, though. It is slightly disappointing because we did know, or Eddie Hearn has at least said since, I think I've heard an interview since September, that Dillian Whyte will fight at the end of the year. So he's probably been planning for Dillian Whyte to fight, whether it be this card or the Danny Jacobs Chavez Jr. card. He was probably planning for him to fight. So I think that's plenty time, I think, to find a suitable opponent. I guess for Dillian Whyte, it's a case of maybe just getting back in the ring, right? All the issues that have gone on since that Oscar Rivas fight, it's maybe parking those to one side, getting rid of that grey cloud overhead, and just doing what he loves to do, which is box. It's that simple. And get a payday. So that's why I don't want to critique the opponent too much. I did expect someone a bit better, though. I mean, I did a video a week ago saying it would be nice to him to fight someone like a Gerald Washington, Charles Martin, I even mentioned, and Christian Hamer, I think I said. Those level of guys that are live bodies and are coming to win. I think Mariusz Wach will give him rounds, but I think his winning mentality is done now in terms of fighting the top guys. I think he goes in there, not necessarily to lose, I think that's too harsh, but I don't think he goes in there fully expecting to win. Whereas those guys I just mentioned, Charles Martin, Gerald Washington, and Christian Hamer, will all go in there wanting and expecting to win. Whether or not they can beat Dillian Whyte's another thing altogether, but that's my only gripe at it. But again, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes in terms of making fights. I have spoken to a few smaller promoters off camera, and they've said, look, fighters want everything. So I can imagine if you're that manager that gets the phone call to fight Dillian Whyte on a massive fight card, AJ versus Ruiz, probably the biggest fight card or the most anticipated fight card of the year, you're wanting big money. And maybe Matrim and Eddie Hearn are not willing to pay big money. So other fighters might have said no to this opportunity. What do you guys make of this? Dillian Whyte versus Mariusz Wach. Did you want someone better? I mean, was you expecting a high level opponent, or was you expecting this kind of opponent because of what's happened to Dillian Whyte since Oscar Rivas? I was kind of middle of the ground. Again, he's not been injured. I mean, we're not talking about a fighter that's coming back after a long layoff. Well, Oscar Rivas was what, July? So slightly disappointing. Again, this isn't concrete, but I did read it on Twitter from a guy that I respect a lot. I think he's a Russian guy that covers all the fights pretty much around the world. So if it's not Mariusz Wach, for a fact, they're speaking to Mariusz Wach. Again, what do you make of this? Mariusz Wach, 39 years old, former world title challenger, like I said, but has lost 3 of his last 5, and he did get stopped by Martin Bakole. I don't know when that fight was, and I think that was strangely enough, that was for like the Polish heavyweight title or something. I think something like that. Can Bakole even win that? I have no idea how that works. What do you guys think? Anyway, let me know. Peace.